Now, I didn't want to do this video because of the fact that the Wi-Fi over here is fucked up because of I don't know what's wrong with the Wi-Fi, but um, it's not doing too good. Anyway, this is what if Naruto was like Madara Uchiha Part Two. Now, Naruto sat at home on his bed, feeling an emotion that was all too familiar to him. Hate. Hate. He was self-absorbed. And then we have a flashback. Naruto was walking home from, the Shinobi Academy after receiving news that he had passed. No, after going to Shinobi Academy, then young boy with rags for clothes and well, no, it wasn't really a young boy. He was more of almost Naruto. He was a little bit older than Naruto at the time. He grabbed onto a metal pipe. He threw it at Naruto and then said, "You demon! You're the reason why my parents are dead! I hope you die inside of a well or somewhere where you experience more pain than I will," he said, as we all know the reason why he said such. Naruto knew that he could dodge it with quick succession at that point of time, but he just let it hit him. He wanted to feel the pain. Life was a never ending place where pain was, misery. At least he would have the physical pain to add on to it. Once the metal pipe hit him, his rage grew. His rage was almost unstoppable. His eyes, his eyes glowed. No, his anger grew to a new level. Then his eyes lighted up with the yellow hue. Then, just as fast as this came, it disappeared completely. For a second, Naruto felt as if all of his pain was alleviated. Everything, all of the suffering that he had to bear, life, he felt as if everything was ripped away from him. Everyone was dead. That's what he felt as if. As then his eyes started to burn in pain as he winced. His chakra was almost depleted. Feeling feeling nauseated, he carried his body. Felt so light. His head hurted. Once he went home, he fell asleep in the flashback. What was that power? Naruto thought. What was this power? By the way, that flashback was earlier that day. What was that immense power? We have another flashback to Hamura Otsutsuki. Hamura Otsutsuki, while Haru would be on the moon yelling out, "How does he get all of the praise? How? I've helped just as much as he did to defeat our mother. How does he gain everything? He always takes everything away from me. One day, I'll be capable of taking it all back." He laughed out maniacally. Then Naruto, then Hamura thought. He waited for years with this anger being pent up. Hamura with would finally find the perfect human. He found Hashirama Senju. He quickly shot down towards planet Earth. Time seemed to have been stopped for his point of view. Haga Hashirama Senju was fighting Madara. Madara fighting Hashirama. Not a toast. He looked up, laughing out loud. "Yes, you're perfect!" As in he felt an immensely dark aura, similar to his own, within Madara Uchiha. He said, "You're perfect for my plans too. I'll be able to kill everyone. I'll have infinite power, and we'll see who's the greatest. Hagoromo." As then he quickly grabbed out a syringe and took the blood of Hashirama Senju. And then he did the same with Madara. Then he shot back up towards the moon. Hashirama and Madara Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha felt a tiny pinch, but it was okay. They were in the middle of the battle. They had better things to think of. They didn't shot towards each other. Meanwhile, on the moon, Hama dislodged his DNA. He then he then ripped out one of his children's eyes. He then crushed it, letting the blood soak within a container fused with Hashirama Senju's DNA. Hashirama Senju's DNA. And Minato, no, Hashirama Senju's DNA, Madara Uchiha's DNA, and his own, and his son's eyes. And then he collected the other eye, killing off his child. He placed the eye within a tube. 9 months later, what could be found within the tube was a young boy. "Yes, Minuto, you'll be the perfect specimen," he yelled out. No, actually, an unprecedented amount of time passed. "Yes, Minuto, you will be the ultimate. You'll be my ultimate weapon against against Hagoromo. I'll be able to kill him. Finally, I'll be able to take all of his power," he yelled out. "And I will become the sage." His children had noticed that he was so overprotective and overbearing of this boy. Eventually, they got so angry with their father that they killed him. And They were so disgusted how their father loved this young boy that they outcasted him. They sent him to Earth and erased his memory of any time that he spent with his father, with their father. But they gave him the knowledge of speech and other languages that were required within the shinobi world. That's a little hint towards Naruto's dojutsu that he will be gaining within the series. Anyway, let me get back to the script. 4 years time skip. After Naruto had seemingly found this unprecedented power, it was incredible. It was the greatest power ever. Now, this is this is a 12-year-old Naruto. Naruto thought, my Naruto thought, sitting within the classroom. When is the test going to start? Why am I still here? I should go somewhere else. It's getting boring. Well, everyone looked at Naruto except Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha glanced at him every 5 seconds, feeling intimidated by Naruto's natural aura, his irritated aura. As then Iruka finally came into the classroom. Now, we'll be having the academy test. For this test, we will be doing 3 parts. First, the clone jutsu, then the also Naruto had tapped into this power, but he doesn't know of its abilities or any of its uses. His dojutsu, that is. Anyway, his dojutsu, that is. And how the 4 years in the classroom would be. Naruto had acted more cold every single day. In fact, he treated people less like human beings and more like microscopic flies that annoyed him a lot. Until eventually he stopped caring, seeming to not even care about their existence anymore. He was wondering if he could take that leap of faith to shed off all of his emotions so he can proceed with his plan. If y'all know about his plan, go and check out what if Naruto had what if Naruto was like Madara Uchiha part 1. I think it will be the postcards at the end of the video. Anyway, anyway, Naruto. Also, Naruto will always show up. He will never be late, yet never on time. When just when the time was when Iruka was about to start up class, Naruto just appeared. Everyone could stare at that place for as long as they wanted. Naruto just appeared there. It was honestly chilling. Anyway, let me see. After Naruto passed the test with the highest score on the board, I mean, he was the highest student in the academy the whole entire year because of the fact that Naruto actually did not care about the academy. All he did was just send shadow clones to the academy to do the work for him while he was off training to to enact his plan so he could bring world peace. But he had one problem with his plan. He wondered, should he give world peace? Should he give everyone within the Leaf Village peace, or should he allow them to suffer a slow and painful death, or should he not? He wondered. He thought about it. He wondered what could happen. The chance of him getting what he wanted was a very, very high one. So he was ready to do so. Anyway, once his shadow clone was leaving out of the class, Mizuki walked up to him. Naruto, since you passed the class with flying colors and you were the top of the class, if you are able to steal the scroll of sealing, to get the scroll of sailing and give it to me at this location, as he handed Naruto a piece of paper that they would use back then, or the equivalent of paper what they would use back then. Handing it to him, handing it to Naruto, as he then said, it was a weird drawing of a map. It looked as if a 3-year-old had drew. Um, a 15-year-old had drawn it. Kind of good, but not on the city map scale. Then he said, what can I gain? Naruto asked, what can I gain? Mizuki was horrified by his voice. He hadn't speak ever since he was in the class. He thought that his voice was gonna be some like something goofy, but it sounded downright as if the Nine Tails were standing in front of him. He thought, shit, I don't know if I should proceed with the plan. No, I'm not gonna let some little kid deter me. You will get a private trainer so you can be trained to become the strongest shinobi. Naruto looked up and thought, gigantic grin on his face, but it wasn't one of a little kid. It was one of a trained killer, an assassin. It almost looked as if Zabazama Mochi was smiling at Mizuki. This terrifying aura shot through Mizuki. I need to get away from him, he thought inside of his head. He started to breathe heavy in the real world as he grabbed onto his chest, squeezing it and gasping for air to anything that could give him some closure. Naruto laughed out. This'll be fun. He finally released those words. Mizuki With those words, Naruto's chilling aura that he released with as he released that smile disappeared. Mizuki breathed in and out heavily. What is this guy? Is this guy a monster? No, he's just a little kid. He can't do anything to you. You're the stronger man, he thought. Anyway, Naruto would then disappear. He would appear at the spot with the scroll on his back. He then thought, I might as well train on harnessing that power. As he then activated, a yellow glow, a yellow hued glow would appear within his eyes with with 5 black circles scraping the top of his eyelids, scraping around his eyelid, no, around his dojutsu eye. And then he looked at one spot. He then closed his hand with on that area. Yank. He yelled out, Yank. And then the the 5 circles within his eyes will all come together within the middle. As objects started to fly towards it, as he then after the first object touched the seemingly invisible thing, it was a tree, the closest tree towards it. Naruto's eyes started to bleed out blood as he shook his head as more blood was leaking out. God damn it, he said, with even more blood leaking out of his eyes. I can't even sustain it for fucking 2 seconds, he said, infuriated with himself. How could he? He has to become strong enough to do his plan. He had to finish what he started. Naruto would then say, No, no, I want to finish what I started, he yelled out. But in real life, I can't collapse now. As then a red chakra flew flew onto his body. But the eye was consuming so much of it that the chakra did not even appear on his body. Naruto thought, I can. What? What is this power? He then tried it again. As almost 10 trees flew towards it before Kurama was like, What? How? Why do these eyes take up so much of my chakra? Naruto thought, as his eyes were starting to bleed again. No! He yelled out, I have to keep it going! As Kurama was like, Stop! Trying to grab onto his chakra that was leaking from him, that was trying to leak out of the cage. He had a tug of war with Naruto. Come on! Naruto yelled out. As Kurama finally, he yanked all of his chakra back, falling to the back of the cage. Naruto thought, God damn it! As more blood leaked out of his eyes. What the hell's going on? He thought. Then one of the tomos, one of out of the five black circles were in his eyes disappeared, and then he felt relief. His body was enlightened. He felt like a god. He felt like on that day back then with that little boy, except it this felt 1,000 times better. As back then, we have another flashback to back then. It showed 18 black circles within his yellow hued eye. Yes, yes, I'm letting you know. The reason why it didn't make Naruto collapse back then is because let's say, since Naruto had not been trained, was not training all the day, his body was not as sore as this version of Naruto. His body was not hurting all of the time. Anyway, so he can endure a lot more pain. Naruto thought, yes, my eyes, it has finally accepted me. As then, blood, a lot of blood started to pour out his eyes. Shit, I still can't master it. As he then thought, maybe that. As then, he breathed in and out as he sat down with his eyes activated under his eyelids as he didn't show them. He sat there until Mizuki, gigantic ball. Now, it was ball orbiting over Naruto. No, and said, I perfected it. As then, Naruto's eyes stopped hurting. He unknowingly was yanking nature chakra from everywhere. And because of the fact that his eyes consumed so much chakra on the regular nature chakra, which is a lot more, but Naruto is yanking a lot more, but his eyes are yanking more chakra than his body can. Then so he doesn't turn into a tree statue thing because this is Hashirama's sage mode. It's not Naruto's, not the Toad Sage mode. Naruto then looked up. I've done it. As he was yanking energy from everywhere, he then thought he should have extendable pawns who can do this for him. He made two shadow clones that sat down while yanking nature energy and throwing it constantly at him as he was filling his eyes. Yes. And then all four the black orbs that were in his eyes shot towards the middle. The orb that was hovering over the two shadow over Naruto, then all of it had shot itself into the sky. As he didn't realize, it felt as if this was an extension of his own body. He felt as if he could control that orb. As he then did not move any part of his body, it was as if it was an arm. He could move it. The orb shot through the sky, causing a lot of fuss and racket. three Jonin flew towards the area. Mizuki said, "Damn it! Why is he causing such a racket? Wait, he already got the scroll?" As he then appeared there. "Naruto, hand over the scroll to me." As he realized that shinobi were coming, and these shinobi a lot stronger than him because they were Anbu. "Hurry up, give it to me. I'll send the note to the Hokage. Just give it to me." He yelled out and wailed out. Naruto just said, "Geesh, here." As Naruto then said, "You thought that I wouldn't know." As then he had his eyes closed the whole entire time. So he then opened up the eyes. Mizuki, seeing the bright light, the blinding yellow light that shot out of Naruto's eyes. Mizuki's body, then the inside of him, like around his stomach area, the lower parts of his stomach, just started to eat away at itself. As if what you think that a black hole would do. Anyway, yanking energy into yanking his body into one little tiny orb as he wailed out in pain. "Ah! Stop it! Ah! So much pain!" As blood was leaking out of every accessible point. It was leaking from the bottom of his fingernails. It was leaking out of his toenails. For God's sake, it was leaking out of his eyes, his ears. It was even leaking out of his hair. Now they do have small openings where your hair stretches out from. That's where the blood's coming from. No, I can't die. As he was completely absorbed by this weird orb. Naruto thought that was amazing. As he then fell to the ground. As once he activated trying to use, if he has mastered this ability, y'all just support your gang, and y'all might just get another video like this tomorrow. Um, see you. Yep.